kids in this country suffering from the Stockholm Syndrome. They've been taken hostage by these government schools, but they love their teachers. Isn't that wonderful? You know, in our society, and I'm looking right now, I have this book, John Taylor Gatto, The Underground History of American Education. It would be impossible for any sane parent to read this book and then willingly send their child off to the government to be educated. You know what? The problem is this book cost about $40, and that's too much for some people to invest in their child's education. He has this question in here. You aren't compelled to loan your car to anybody who wants it, but you are compelled to surrender your school-age child to strangers who process children for a living. Now think about this. This is from Gatto. He said, if I demanded that you give up your television to an anonymous, itinerant repairman who needed work, you'd think that I was crazy. If I came with a policeman who forced you to pay that repairman even after he broke your set, you would be outraged. Why are you so docile when you give up your child to a government agent called a school teacher? Oh man, this book is heresy. I'm just paging through it right now. I didn't know I was going to do this during the information overload hour, but I started paging through it. I ran into some things like this. School superintendents as a class are virtually the stupidest people to pass through a graduate college program, ranking 51 points below the elementary school teachers they normally supervise, and this is according to the graduate record exam, and about 80 points below secondary school teachers, while teachers themselves, as an aggregate, finish 17th of 20 occupational groups surveyed. Gatto writes, the reader is, of course, at liberty to believe this happened accidentally, or that the moon is composed of blue, not green cheese, as is popularly believed. It is also possible to take this anomaly as conclusive evidence of the irrelevance of standardized testing. Go ahead, that's your choice. I've told you many times on this show that some of the writings that you get from places like the Rockefeller Foundation and others in the early 1900s who were establishing and creating our government school system, they made it very clear. What we are trying to do is we're trying to create generations of children who make good government subjects and good workers, nothing more. I remember one writing, couldn't find it in time for today, but it said, we are not trying to create men of letters. But here's something interesting. Spartan ideas of management came to American consciousness through classical studies in early schooling, through churches, and through the interest in the German military state of Prussia, which constantly modeled itself after Sparta. As the 19th century entered its final decades, American university training came to follow the Prussian Spartan model. Service to business and the political state became the most important reason for college and university existence after 1910. And that's what the schools are there for, our government schools, to create in our children the idea of service to the political state. They are government institutions, run on government property, staffed by government agents, under government-controlled curriculums. And you're sending your children off today to be taught how to be good servants to the state, people that Nancy Pelosi would just love. One more thing. H.L. Mencken. That erroneous assumption is to the effort that the aim of public education is to fill the young of the species with knowledge and awaken their intelligence. Nothing could be further from the truth. The aim of public education is not to spread enlightenment at all. It is simply to reduce as many individuals as possible to the same safe level, to breed and train a standardized citizenry, to put down dissent and originality. That is the aim in the United States, whatever the pretensions of politicians, pedagogues, and other such mountebanks. And that is the aim everywhere else. So for those of you who sent your kids off to the government to be educated once again this year, congratulations. Aren't you proud?